Oh man, Fantom continue to take the early stages of this bull market by the scruff of the neck. A major announcement. It's a complete game changer here for Fantom. We've seen incredible price action here over the last couple of weeks on Fantom, being one of the outstanding altcoins versus BTC in comparison. And now Michael Kong, the CEO of Fantom, unveils Sonic's launch and beyond. In this video, I'm going to break down the early notes around what this means, how important this is for the Fantom ecosystem, and what this can mean for the price action here in the medium to long term as well. Now, please note, I will be doing a deep dive podcast with Michael Kong himself Friday, okay? So mark the date in your calendar, make sure your notification bell is on. I will be posting that video later on Friday evening time, UK time, so make sure you're in tune for that. We will be diving into exactly what is Sonic, what does it actually mean for people and use cases on the blockchain, and what could this mean as well for the price action indeed. So let's take a first look at what this announcement means, because clear as day, the price action is really excited, right? If you take a look at this week, 67%, then you had 7%, then you had 14%, 25%, and this week already opening up another 4% in the green. Fantom clearly an outstanding performer. If you want evidence behind that, take a look at this. These are the top 50 altcoins by performance. This black section here is Bitcoin. It has returned 67% over the last 90 days. All the coins to the left-hand side have outperformed, okay, Bitcoin. So it's better holding some of these coins in your portfolio relative to Bitcoin, which is why I always say it's important to have a diverse portfolio. Now, if you take a look, you've got WIF, so we need to ignore the meme coins, right? WIF, Floki, Pepe, you've got Shiba in there. So really, you've got Arweave, you've got Fetch on the AI narrative, Theta as well, Rend on the AI narrative, and Stacks. Then you've got Fantom with 123% performance over the last 90 days. That's double the return that Bitcoin has seen over the last 90 days, right? Which is why it's so important to understand which altcoins are primed and ready to go. I've said it time and time again. You've seen me barking up this tree plenty of times over the last couple of years saying, look, Fantom is one of those coins that when Bitcoin gives a bit of energy, Fantom can pump outsized returns. Why? Because of the tokenomics, how undervalued it is, all the things I've broken down on this channel before. And now there's another game changer. And before I go into and break down really what this means, we have to understand something. Fantom's tech has always been underrated. Hold up, do you want to learn how to trade? Then you need to jump into our Telegram community. Link is in the description. In our Telegram community, I share my altcoins. I share how I do my trade setups, how I do my stop losses and take profit, so you could learn to become a profitable trader. Check it out, link is in the description. Always been underrated. But what this announcement fundamentally does is secure their future. If you go back a step, one of the complaints I had with the Fantom ecosystem in the last bull market was some of the weaknesses in terms of marketing, in terms of social hype, in terms of engagement, in terms of getting people excited and bringing on more use cases. We've spoken about this at length with Michael Kong and Simone Pompose, the CMO at the time. But what was the concern? Well, the concern was if you're sitting on amazing tech and you fail to market that tech for a couple of years or one whole cycle, guess what happens by the time you get to the next cycle? You're now sitting on outdated tech. You're trying to sell an iPhone 10 in an iPhone 15 market. And that was my concern in the back of my head with Fantom. Now, fortunately, which we're going to break down here, Fantom has managed to solve that. They've gone, okay, we didn't make the most of the Opera network, the previous one that went live on December 2019, and so we had a great bull market, but we didn't do as much as we could have. But now we can't live on that ecosystem. We need to come to the iPhone 15, and the Sonic upgrade fundamentally does that for Fantom. It makes sure that they continue to be the gold standard in tech, even despite other newer layer 1 blockchains launching all the time. Whether you've got a modular blockchain, whether you've got Stacks, whether you've got Aptos, whether you've got Sui, you've got Near Protocol, you've got all these other layer 1 blockchains. What was going to ensure that Fantom could continue to say, nope, we're the best in tech, right? Now, we're going to come on to the marketing piece, because it doesn't mean that they're naturally going to 100% get the marketing right. But one thing I like already with this announcement is the way they've announced it. First of all, let's give them props for how they've announced it. They created a bit of hype, they've created a bit of attention, they got people excited, they were very clear in their communication, and they've even told us, as we're going to get to later on here, that there's other things coming as well. So let's break down exactly what was going on. So going back all the way to December 2019, right, the first version of the Opera network was released based on concepts that Andre Cronje, who we know is one of the best minds in crypto, had carefully studied. That Opera network achieved a maximum transactions per second approaching 200 and a time to finality of sub 600 milliseconds. This was amazing at the time, guys, right? This was hugely amazing. But of course, I mean, if you take a look, it says it here in itself, far more than Ethereum's 12 transactions per second and greater than 60 seconds finality. So this at the time, which is one of the reasons I was so excited about it going back to 2020 and 2021, was a whole magnitude better than the incumbents, right? If you're looking at Ethereum's 12 transactions per second, you had Fantom executing at 200 transactions per second. You look at their 60 seconds to finalize the block, we're talking 600 milliseconds. You can't even compare, and the tech was a no-brainer. It's just they couldn't figure out the marketing piece. The Opera network then grew from 0 users to become one of the most widely recognized and utilized networks with over $10 billion in TVL. Guys, we're sitting at like 170 million now. The bear market has obviously wrecked total value locked across the board, but this reminds you of where it was, right? When we were covering it, when Fantom was running to all-time highs, $10 billion in total value locked. DeFi was being used on a daily basis on Fantom, on a daily basis by loads of different projects. There were growing pains, however, at times of enormous demand. The network became congested and the user experience deteriorated. In response, Fantom team have been hard at work for the past 2 years building our new Sonic technology. More scalable, secure blockchain ever, right? Sonic's ability to process 2,000 transactions per second, guys. This is a magnitude of 10x what Opera is currently doing. 2,000 transactions per second and sub-second finality represents a huge evolution from Opera's 200 transactions per second, and the team is very proud of the product. With Sonic's tremendous technical capabilities, it's time for us to further evolve and innovate. Sonic will be used to create a new best-in-class shared sequencer for L1 and L2 chains, capable of processing over 180 million daily transactions with real sub-second confirmation times. And that's really important, guys. It's not just about being able to do 100 million daily transactions when finality is taking a minute per transaction, right? We're talking sub-second. We're talking sub-second. It's going to make a huge difference in terms of usability. I mean, if I use the analogy, do you want to go to a coffee shop, use your Apple Pay, and have to wait for, 2-3 minutes before the guy hands over your latte, which is probably cold at this point? Do you know what I mean? Like, you want instantaneous. If you actually want real use cases in the real world, things need to be instantaneous. It's what we're used to with traditional finance. What I also liked here, which I've highlighted, is this. We want to serve as the foundation to relaunch Fantom as an entirely new community-centric brand. And this is really, really exciting. Now, I want to mention something here. I saw a couple of moaning messages on Twitter and in the Discord where people are saying, yeah, but this is all a bit late. Why didn't they do any of this in the bear market? Guys, you do not want to announce anything in a bear market. Right? In a bear market, that is not where you want to announce things. You can announce the best thing in a bear market for your project, for Fantom, and it will mean nothing. That is not the time you want to announce stuff. You want to build in the background. Anybody who knows crypto knows this. You want to build in the background, like they've done here with Sonic. And then when the market's getting frothy like it is now, that is when you want to come in and you want to express what you've been working on in a very clear community-based way. And it seems like they're understanding that and they've learned from their mistakes from the previous cycle, which is really good. We are working diligently through an array of details and logistics that we look forward to sharing in the coming weeks and anticipate the new chain will launch in the late summer or early fall of this year. So we've got something to look forward to. And again, good marketing. Right? What does a good project do? What does Apple do? They leak, oh, look, a new iPhone's coming, a new iPad is coming, a new MacBook's coming. Creates a little bit of attention, creates a little bit of drama, creates a little bit of expectations. This is important for a project. You're running a business here. You need to get people excited about what you're working on. Now I want to get into the following, guys. They're going to launch a bunch of governance proposals around the following, but let's really dig under the bonnet of what this means in the early stages based on what I've got access to at the moment. Now, of course, once I'm speaking to Michael Kong on Friday, which is in a couple of days' time, I will go into detail on this and try to extract as many things as possible. If you guys have any questions that you want to put to Michael Kong, tweet me at reallyjaza1 and I'll put those questions to Michael as well. The interview is your interview. Whatever questions you, the community, want to put to Michael, tweet them to me and I will put your questions to him. So let's start off with bridging. big topic, right? I could talk for ages about this. This was to do with the multi-chain hack, right? One of the biggest scars on Fantom over the last year or so was this multi-chain hack. And it's quite unfair because it wasn't really their fault. We've covered this extensively. I even interviewed Michael Kong after it happened. But we need to understand that there are some learnings to be taken away. And it's great to see that Fantom are taking those learnings seriously. When Opera first launched, the blockchain landscape was nascent, i.e. in the early days, and interoperability and canonical bridges did not exist. They didn't exist when Fantom launched in 2019. With the blockchain's evolution, Sonic needs a safe, trust-minimized bridge with native Ethereum access. We developed a Sonic rollup implementation, a first-class citizen in our validator set, to fully decentralize the bridge while using our existing network security, plus inheriting Ethereum's economic security as well. Great. Really, really good, because we know Fantom security itself is undefeated so far. We know Ethereum security is considered the gold standard and best in class. To combine the two provides a bridge which is trust minimized and should give the market the confidence it needs post the multi-chain saga. This is a real growing up from Fantom here, right? That's what I'm seeing here impartially. I'm seeing a real maturation phase here where Fantom's going, yeah, we can't keep relying on these weird little projects and other, relying on third-party bridges, because the easy solution for them here would have been say, you know what? We're not going to build our own. We're not going to develop our own roll-up. No, why should we? We'll just use more third parties. Instead of just using multi-chain, we'll have multiple, like 4 or 5, right? We won't take responsibility for it. They're taking responsibility, which is very, very good. Sonic's consensus engine is a sequencing layer, providing fast, secure, convenient use while substantially minimizing fees and time to finality. All things which are really important for us lot at the end of the day. Okay, now you talk about staking. If you remember the bull market, Fantom was a fantastic place to stake. Right? When people are searching for yield, I know people aren't currently just yet, but that narrative is going to come back again. Where people want to stake their token, they're yield farming, they're doing all this stuff again. It's where Fantom did really, really well in the DeFi space. Even just native staking Fantom, people love doing it. Those that didn't want to take too much risk were just staking natively in Fantom and getting a good whatever it was. I think it was 12-14% at the time. So we plan to simplify our staking such that APR will no longer depend on lock time, but rather have a fixed 14-day unbonding period. So now the APR will probably be the same regardless of how long you leave your money in, right? Prorated. But as soon as you want to take it out, you just have to give 14 days to take it out. Okay. This will unleash an over $1 billion opportunity for liquid staking tokens. Very important narrative. If you remember with Ethereum, this and Lido and all these other ones, this narrative was a huge narrative going back over a year or so. And Fantom couldn't participate, significantly increasing DeFi activity and total value locked. Several liquid staking tokens will be supported, ensuring network security is maintained. Very good. Very good. Grant programs, we know they're doing really well with grant programs. They're going to continue to significantly scale those. Reward campaigns, there'll be extensive rewards for both the current Opera network to thank existing users for their support and for the new chain. Very good. In a day and age where we're seeing loads of platforms give huge airdrops, Fantom understand that they need to give something back to the community to create some of that excitement, to create some of the hype. But more important than that, why do we do this? If you remember back in the day, guys, I think it was PayPal. PayPal did this thing where if you signed up, they'd give you like $10 for free. Similarly, El Salvador got all their citizens to sign up to a Bitcoin wallet by giving them, I think it was like $20 in Bitcoin or whatever it was. Sometimes you need to pay people, give them something, such that they come and experience something, right? You maybe give them a taster of the burger before they come into the shop and buy a full burger. And this is what Fantom need to understand. Sometimes just giving a little reward gets people onto the system, using it more, interacting more, and then finding out how powerful a blockchain it is. Superset, parallel FVM. So again, Bernard Schultz, who we know again is one of the greater minds in terms of research in the crypto space, is an expert in virtual machines, and his team believe that adding parallelization to an upgraded FVM may significantly boost Sonic's performance. They will continue to explore parallelization. Fine. So in terms of this aspect, this is the whole aspect about saying, you know what, we're smashing it because we've got the likes of Bernard Schultz, we've got the likes of Andre Cronje, which he covers off here, working on stuff. Bernard Schultz is working on the parallel FVM. Got Andre working on the ZK execution for ZK Snarks. So basically what they're saying is, look, if you think you're going to compete with us from a tech point of view, we got two of the best minds here sitting here working on some amazing tech. So if you think Sonic is all we're doing, no, we're already planning the next phases. And this is really good. You see this from Ethereum as well, right? When Ethereum did the merge and the purge and the whatever they called it, they had all their phases outlined by Vitalik. So they knew that whatever you're seeing right now in terms of ETH 2.0 is just the start. There's so much more to come, and that's really, really important. And then I found the last one really exciting, which is canonical stablecoin. For both the current Opera network and the new Sonic stack, a canonical stablecoin is an essential ingredient for the success of DeFi. We expect this to be in place in the very near future. I'm excited for the stablecoin. I think having a good stablecoin in place, backed properly, set up with the right structures, could be a huge catalyst to, again, drive more use cases, to get more total value locked, to get more people using the blockchain, having a good, trustworthy, well-backed stablecoin. But you don't want to mess this up. You don't want to become Terra Luna 2, where you set up some algorithmically backed stablecoin and mess it up. And I know that's not Fantom's intention here. We've spoken about that with Michael Kong before. I'll pick it up again on Friday, but they want to over collateralize this thing. They want to have more collateral than they need for their stablecoin. So I'll check in with Michael to see if that's still the case. We look forward to sharing more details in the coming weeks, including an abundance of news around news partners, VC angel funded, targeted industries, and use cases and audience engagement programs. We remain very excited with the backing and encouragement of the largest token holders, stakers, and Project Fantom. We're fully committed to this evolution. Stay tuned. Props to you guys, Fantom. I think that's a really good announcement. I think it's exciting to see what you're working on from a tech perspective. My only final qualm, and you guys know I'll give it as it is, right? I'm not here to hype up a project when there's no need to hype it. I don't get anything from this. I don't get anything from the Fantom Foundation. I don't get a single penny or Fantom token. Nothing. I just get to maybe interview Michael Kong every now and then, right? That's it. That's about as far as my access goes. But the reality is the tech is always really sound. And I look at this and go, you know what? Phew, that's a relief. That's a relief. And it's also exciting that Fantom has decided how they're going to leapfrog their tech, how they're going to do version 2.0 Fantom. And this is good. I'm really excited for Sonic. What it doesn't solve in my head is the marketing piece. But I'm seeing green shoots of hope in how they're dealing with this Sonic announcement, in how they're communicating with the ecosystem, how they're interacting on X, how they're breaking down the stuff into bite-sized chunks that people can understand it. This is important. And hopefully we can talk about that with Michael as well on Friday, because the reality is you could be building the most exciting tech. If people don't know what you're talking about in terms of ZK execution and parallelized FVM and canonical stablecoin, you're not going to connect with them. What people care about is what they care about on Ethereum and Solana. They can get on, they can use the blockchain, they can set up their wallets, they can move stuff about, they can use your DEX, they can play around with it. It's quick, it's cheap, well, apart from Ethereum, and you can move on. That's going to be important for people to understand. And so the real piece, the real crux of this puzzle, when you look at Fantom in terms of can it go and really, not just break all-time highs, but really go crazy, right? Because remember, we're sitting here on Fantom. We're sitting here, right? We're not even here at our Fibonacci golden pocket. That's $2.20, $2.30. You guys know I personally think all-time highs is like the Fantom team failing in this cycle. For me, if they just get to all-time highs and nothing else, that's a failure. And that's coming from somebody who's bought at 15 cents and was DCAing at the lows. Right? You look at the Fibonacci golden extension, I'm looking at $5.50. Even that, I think Fantom can be a $10 project. Right? And I broke that down in a previous video if you guys want to go watch it. I think with Andre Crony excited again, engaged, I've seen the tweets from Andre saying, this is the best project he's worked on. Like he's on smoke. He's saying, come at me. Anybody who thinks you're better, come with the FUD. I'm gonna break it down. So it's exciting time for Fantom, but they've got to get this marketing piece right, and they don't get another dress rehearsal. This bull market is here. They're either gonna make it or they're not. And now, do I think Fantom's, like Andre Cronier said to one person on Twitter, if you think it's going to go to zero, I'll take the other side of the bet, right? And I'd be confident doing that as well. I don't think Fantom is a project that's going to go to zero. If it was going to go to zero, it would have done it in the bear market, but I had conviction to not sell, and I even DCA'd some more. Right? And that's what conviction is about. And when you sit here with Fantom sitting at $1.10, $1.12, you feel vindicated when you're buying at 15 cents. But the journey's only just started. Fantom's got an exciting upgrade now in Sonic. They've got to communicate it. They've got to bring use cases on. They've got to have some killer dApps. They've got to get their DeFi back spinning like it was in the previous bull market. And it should be an exciting bull market. Guys, if you appreciate this breakdown, then smash up the likes. Please do not forget to subscribe. Please do share this channel with everybody in the Fantom ecosystem and more, such that when the interview with Michael Kong drops on Friday, we get as many viewers as possible tuned in, watching that interview with Michael Kong, breaking down Sonic and what it means for the ecosystem. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.